I just want to talk about something that is uncomfortable to talk about, which is violence. Mostly because we just saw, for those who've heard the news, that there was an assassination attempt yesterday, or a shooting yesterday at a political rally in America. And the reason I think it's important for us to talk about this is because there are so many emotions that come along with this. Right? When we look to the news, when we look to people, one thing that is perhaps the most disappointing, and maybe even the most human, is how quick everyone has been to try and paint this shooter as a part of that opposite group, a part of that opposite political persuasion, right? He's not like us, he's like them. It's their fault this is happening. As if all of this political discourse isn't something we're a part of too. And this boy who has lost his life, and I say boy because he was 20 years old, he was a child, was able to get his hands on a weapon of great violence, was able to get close enough to go and to shoot people, and didn't see any of those other people at the rally as humans, but just as collateral damage in the way. And this, to me, is what speaks to the heart of where we are maybe as Christians in North America. Right? That we are so quick to want to other people. We're so quick to want to make people into our enemies. It's us against them. We have to overcome, we have to overpower, that we miss that somehow we raised a child who was so quick to throw his life away for violence because he believed in the myth of redemptive violence. That's how we make peace, by killing that other person. That's how we're going to get through. So what do we do in the midst of all of that trouble? Well, we look to Jesus. Jesus was at a time of great political turmoil, of great violence as well. And how does Jesus respond? By making peace. By being a peacemaker who enters into the difficult, dark places and still brings love. Who enters into the darkness and shines brightly. Who brings resurrection power and hope to those places we only see death and despair. So we continue to look to Jesus. And we continue to turn our ears to his teaching because he commands us to love our neighbors. He commands us to love our enemies, and he shows us what that looks like. Jesus is the one who loves that person we don't like. Jesus is the one who loves our enemies. Jesus is the one who loves the people we hate. Who loves that boy who lost his life shooting, who loves the person he was shooting at, who loves the people who lost their lives, who loves the people who were doing the shooting. The way of Jesus challenges us, doesn't it? It is so much easier to be angry, to hate, to be fearful, and to hide. But Jesus calls us to love anyways. We will not overcome the violence in our world through grand actions. You will never be called to go on some great stage and somehow find a way of bringing peace to the world, but you will be called to have opportunities to love people one at a time. And it is in those simple acts of love, those simple acts of peacemaking, that we will start to see the kingdom of God come into reality in our world. Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers." May we be peacemakers like Jesus. May we love as Jesus has loved us. May we be the love that changes the world one neighbor at a time.